next up, we have Mr. Ng Kheng Ghee, our system engineer at NSCC. So Kheng Ghee joined NSCC in 2021, and prior to that, he was a HPC engineer, managing a HPC cluster with more than 700 cores at the Data Intensive Computing Center, which is at the University of Malaya, for 5 years. So let us welcome Kheng Ghee on stage to present on the topic of useful system reports and information available to the users in Aspire 2A. Let's welcome Kheng Ghee. Thank you.
So good afternoon, everyone. So today I will be sharing with you guys regarding what are the useful reportings and information that is available to the user in the Aspire 2A. So today I will be covering what kind of reporting available in the Aspire 2A, and for each reporting I will explain what is the functions and how to access them, and then what is the current limitation of the current reportings, and is there any future improvement that we can implement in the future. Okay, next. So basically, there are 3 types of reportings that is available in Aspire 2A. First is a job reporting. So for this job reporting, is mainly on basic, the information of your jobs. The second one is on the usage reporting. This is mainly show the information of the number of jobs that you have submit and the usage, how many compute hours, how many GPU hours that we have used. The third one is the storage usage computing reporting. Is mainly show you the information of how much storage that you have been used in the Aspire 2A. So in Aspire, we have 2 file systems. One is a GPFS system, one is the luxury system. Okay, next. So in this job reporting, I split into 2 categories. First is the job history, and the second one is the basic job details. Okay, next. So for this job reporting and job history, is mainly comes from the PBS Pro commands. So basically, it just shows the list of your jobs that has been finished or successfully running, or even the failed jobs. So how to access this command? Basically, you can just use the QStack. I think you guys are for the users or Aspire 1, you'll be familiar with the QStack commands, but with different parameters. Like -trace is mainly for the history. -x is for the all the jobs, including the running jobs. Okay, so next. So this is the example of the screenshot of what kind of the output that you are expecting from the QStack commands. So you can see this is all the job IDs, the details, your username, your queue, and all this stuff. Okay, next. So for the job history, there's a certain limitation on this job history, because all this information is stored in the memory. So for the system not to use more memory, this information will only store not more than 12 hours after your job has finished running. So most of your information will be removed if the job history is exceed 12 hours. Okay, so our plan is currently to extend until 24 hours. And then for future improvement, we will have a custom script to show a longer job history, maybe up to months, and then try to incorporate this job history to other reporting features. Okay, so the next one is regarding the basic job details. So for the job details, it's basically just to show you what are the job details, information of your jobs for your running job or for your finished job as well. So how to access them is basically, there are few ways to access them. First is whenever your job finish running, they will show a short usage summary on your output file. And then the second one is if you configure email notification on your job script, they will send you an email regarding a summary of what your job is. And then for for more detailed information, you might want to run the QStack command with -f parameters and then the job ID. So what are the useful information that you can get from this one is actually the job statistical data for your job performance analysis, and then the resource requested by the job if you forget it, and then you can also know the job timeline is a chronology of the jobs. Okay, so next. So for example, the output short summary of the job output file, you can see something similar like this. So they will show you the job ID, the project, and then the assistants and all the information that you require here. Okay, next. So for the email one, it's very similar to the job output summary. So it's quite similar. Okay, next one, please. Okay, so when you try to run a QStack -f command, you can see there's a long list of things here. So later on, I will go through some of the attribute here and explain that what these attribute means. Okay, next one. So you can see it's actually 2 pages, and then there's so much job information, so what to look for. Okay, so basically, this is pretty self-explanatory, means that in all these job detail, you can see job name, job owner, queue server. This is very basic for those jobs. Okay, next. So, okay, the next thing you might want to take note is based on this attribute actually shows that the amount of resource that you have requested and then have been allocated to your jobs. So you can see as I requested 2 gigabit of memory and 2 CPUs. So this is reflected in here. And then another thing is war time. I only request for 1 hour war time for all my jobs. Okay, so, sorry, previous. Okay, so this one is another useful information. So this is mainly to show you how much resource that your job has consumed or used. So as you can see, there are memory, CPU times, number of CPUs, virtual memory, and CPU percent and war time. So I think most of them, if you have used in the Aspire one, you're very familiar already. But I just want to mention one thing for the CPU percent. For the CPU percent, it depends on number of CPU that you requested. So if you request more than one CPU, right, you should expect the CPU. If your job is fully utilizing all the CPUs, you should expect more than hundreds value, because it's actually based on the number of CPU that you requested. So if you request 16 CPU, the maximum value you should get is 1006 instead of 100%. Okay. Next. So this is another information that is kind of interesting. So for each job, actually you have this time attribute. Okay, so for the C time, it's actually explained. It's actually described the time that your job has been created in the system. Okay, the E time is the time when the job is eligible to run. So when I say it's eligible to run, it actually means that when your job have satisfied a few conditions, like your job have requested the resource that can be fulfilled by the system, and also you have, maybe if you are running under project, then your project must have enough allocation to run the jobs. Okay, so for the queue time is the moment the time the job enter the queue, and then for the S time is the time the job started and the execution. Okay, next. So these are the other useful attributes. So mainly output fast arrow path is mainly the output file and your arrow file. And then where you submit host is mainly described by where you submit your job from. Basically, it's which login node you submit, then this will show there. And then if you submit using the argument instead of using the PPS script, so it will show here all the arguments that have been used, and then some comments from the system itself, whether your job successful running or fail. Okay, next. So back to the example. So you can see this is a resource use, and then certain job informations. Okay, so you can see there's M time. M time is actually a time for this job to modify this entry. The last modified time for this entry, and then yeah, the rest I already explained most of the stuff. Next. So same thing here. So okay, next. Yeah, so for this one, the limitation is also the same. We only can store this information up to 12 hours after your job has finished running. So if you want to have this kind of detail, you have to manually save within the time frame that we define. So we plan to extend until 24 hours. So you have 24 hours to actually save the details into files. Okay, so in the future improvement, we plan to actually extract this information from the PBS Pro directly, but there are certain information that will not be available in this accounting log. Okay, next. Okay, so for usage reporting, I'll divide into 2 sections. First one is individual usage reporting, and second one is the project usage reporting. Okay, next one. So for the usage reporting, mainly is we will show you how much you have used for the past 7 days, 30 days, and the overall usage since beginning. So the usage will be shown in the CPU and GPU hours. Okay, and then there's a caveat here is for individual usage, this is updated 3 times a day. So basically, it will be updated once every 8 hours. And then how to access this information or this reporting is when you go into the login node, you just type my usage command, then it will show you the output. So next, so this is an example of the screenshot that from the my command, my usage command. So as you can see, for usage, usually this is the time that will get updated. So like I mentioned, this only will get updated 3 times a day, once every 8 hours. So they will show you like the past 7 days, how many jobs you have submitted, and then what are the core hour and GPU card hour that you have utilized. Okay, next one. So for future improvement, instead of we try to update 3 times a day, we will try to provide a live updates. So means when you query it, you will get the latest information of your usage reporting. And then we also will allow the user to query a specific date range. Means if you want to see a certain date from, maybe you want to see the usage from certain days, like 2 to 3 days ago, we allow the user to do that. And then we also try to improve in a sense like you will add your most recent jobs that you have submitted under the screenshot just now. So it will be something like a bank statement. So what it will show information like job ID and then how much usage has been used for that particular job. Okay, next one. So for the project, actually it's very similar to the individual usage, but instead of individual, we will show the project information. So actually it's the same thing. We also updated 3 times a day and once every 8 hours. So how to access it? You just type the my commands, my projects in the login node. Next. So this is the example output for the my projects command. So you can see this is the project details. We also show you when is your expire date for your projects, and then your members of your project. Okay, so this is the things that, okay, SU is, what we call SU is a service unit. So this, for this one, this is actually a currency that will be used in the Aspire 2A system to actually calculate how much CPU and GPU that you have. Okay, and then for more information about SU, I think we will announce in the later stage. Okay, so you can see this is how many CPU hour GPU SU that we have granted you, and then what have been used, and then what is the balance. Okay, next thing. Okay, so for future improvement, it's the same as individual usage reporting. Mainly, we will try to provide you the live updates instead of 3 times a day. And then we will also incorporate project history. Means that for all the project jobs that have been submitted by your project member, this is mainly useful for the PR of the project, if you want to see all the information from the job information that is the job that is submitted by your project users. You can do a audit or accounting there. So it's like something like a bank statement, just like you just think that this is like a joint account for the projects, and then it will show you the details. And then same thing, we also try to allow you user to query a specific range for this reporting. Okay, next one. So the last one should be the storage quota reporting. So basically, if you are in Aspire 1, you also will have the same thing by entering my quota command. So for the Aspire 2A, we are still in development for this command, so I don't have any output to show you at the moment. Okay, next. So basically, because this is all reporting feature is mainly used by the user, so we appreciate very much if users can give feedbacks by going through these forms and enter the. If you have any ideas or feedback, you can give it to us. Then it's good. Okay, so I think that's all for my presentation. So if any questions.
Okay, thank you, Ng Kheng Ghee. Yeah, I think there's one question. Will it still be the case for Aspire 2A that QStat will not show information for jobs from other users?
Yes, that will be like most likely the case.
Okay. So I hope that answered your questions.